Hey everyone, I'm back and I have so much stuff to tell y'all. I've actually been busy this time. Let's just get into it. Today we're going to talk about unions and what happened with me and mine, okay? I know we talked about unions before, but not quite like this. So buckle up. A lot of you guys have asked about um, the environment here in MSC and what you could expect in this outfit and all that other stuff. So we're just gonna get into it. But before we do that, if you haven't done so already, like and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a foe, tell everybody. But let's get into the video. So I'm gonna try to make this not so long, but this has to be talked about. All right, so the reason why I am so against the union, and I've said it before, but I'll get a little bit more personal this time, is because I am considered a West Coast sailor. I did most of my training over there, made most of my, a lot of friendships over there, etc. So I'm very comfortable on that side, at least I was. Here's why. For a very long time, there was a gentleman that worked for MSC. He retired back in 2018. Those of you who know him, I'm not going to say his name, but if you know, you know. Anyway, a lot of females out there, a lot of women, I should say. I hate when people say female, but a lot of us women seek refuge, especially the younger ones who younger at that time, who didn't really understand the culture or the climate of MSC with regard to women, with an emphasis on melanated ones, okay? It's not, back then it wasn't a lot of us. Still isn't, you know? So, fast forward, he garnered a lot of respect, so I thought, I thought that if I ever needed anything, you know, he would be a source, a refuge, a safe place, okay? And something happened over the years. You know, people try to put stuff in your ear, and me, would give people the benefit of the doubt. Because just because they did this to you, or you see them this way, doesn't mean that that's how or who they'll be to me, okay? So, with that, heard things over the years, and had this particular guy done anything unsavory? Yeah. One time I went on a deployment. I didn't want to miss my flight. I was young and scared, and I had a vehicle there, and I was like, I don't know what to do. He's like, just leave me your keys. I'll put your car up. Don't worry. I'll make sure it gets to the storage. And trusting, I was like, oh, okay, because literally you don't have anyone there, right? So he never did it. I was at sea for about 2 or 3 months, pissing bricks, because my car never made it to storage. So it wasn't until I had to go sign over power of attorney of my vehicle to a friend of mine who happened to be stationed and home in that area, in the San Diego area. And she went looking for my vehicle, right? She went to his place, all that. And I made sure he knew to give her my keys so she can put it in storage for me. Thank you so much, friend, if you're watching. Anyway, she checked the day before. What he doesn't know is she checked the day before to see if my car was where he said it was going to be. It wasn't. So when she came to get it the day that they agreed to get it, and I didn't ask her to do that. She did this all on her own. Oh, I love her for that. When she got my car back and he told her it was in a certain place, it was the second day, but it wasn't the first day. He lied to her. And she was living. She said, let me tell you something. I don't trust him. He's a liar. I went and I saw, and he said, and it wasn't true. And then he kept lying to my face. You need to watch him. I heard her, but I didn't listen. She's not the only one. Other people said the same thing. And that's just something, you know, I'm not going to say as minute as a car, because cars are a big deal, but it was just a car, you know what I mean? An inanimate object. So I overlooked that, right? I shouldn't have. Over the years, I still gave him benefits of the doubt. Me and some friends would but we'd have leftover food. We'd give it to them. If you knew the climate, you'll know that they do that all the time. You know, stuff like that. We looked at him like a mentor or like an older father figure, because there's no way he's going to try to anything funny with us, right? So, in the interest of time, I'm going to skip along. We continue to stay in contact, and I trusted this man for several reasons, because I felt like, well, I can forgive the car thing. I give him the benefit of the doubt. I know his vehicles weren't really that well, so okay. 2020. Something happened to me. Because I have an attorney, I had to ask my attorney if it was okay to speak on what happened. and I've gotten clearance to say something up to a certain point. So we're gonna get into that. Oh, water is so good. Had an issue with a manager, or not a manager, but a superior. I'll say it that way. And that superior did said some out of the way stuff via email, and he called my phone about 6 times, left 2 voicemails. I have every email, I have every voicemail, I have all of the necessary credible proof of that exchange. I didn't see it coming, definitely unwelcomed, and it really hurt me because I respected that guy too. I like, he would be number 2 if the other guy wasn't available as far as people I trust. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, because I am one of the few, or not the few, because we've gotten more now, but I'm one of the ladies that actually look like a lady. Oh, I hope they don't nobody take that the wrong way. But I get a lot of unwanted attention, right? And you'll have a lot of guys who try to gaslight you. They want to know what you're into, who you're into, are you taking, are you not? It's just a bunch of stuff that I ain't coming for that. So I immediately told the person I trusted the most in the outfit, right, who had been in the outfit for over 30 years, right? The other guy been there over 20. I went and I talked, and they were friends. And I talked to him in complete distress, like full panic, full meltdown. I have had to work through a lot of challenges because of this particular situation, and the climate that can be pretty septic out here. So my mentor, who had since retired MSc and took on the role of the union rep, you following me? The union rep for the West Coast SIU Government Service Division. Again, if you know, you know. Okay, so I was terrified, and he always said, well, I support your right to file a case, but I would just don't do it. You know, he would say a bunch of contradictory shit to, I guess, aid in the rattling of the chaos that was already going on. And I was terrified to say something because he scared the hell out of me and convinced me not to open up my mouth and advocate for myself. Okay? That's why all of my videos I tell you to protect yourself and know what your rights are, because you'll have people who you trust, and who you've trusted to talk you out of stuff that could definitely help you, move along in your journey. So I didn't say anything. I wasn't able to say anything from actual just trauma in the beginning, and I had a hard time digesting what had happened, but it definitely affected me for a long time. And there's so much more I'm not comfortable saying in this space that happened from the time it happened until the end, but eventually I did speak up. In doing so, what I didn't know is that same union rep was he used to always tell me stories like, it's gotten out, people know about it, they're going to know it's you, blah, blah, blah. What union rep is going to scare you when they're supposed to help you? Okay? He wasn't even eligible to represent his friend who was the aggressor in that situation, right? He couldn't legally represent him. That guy wasn't in the union. I was a paying union member. You know what I mean? So whether it's your friend or not, if it's your friend, you should have pulled him to the side, and because this wasn't that guy's first time. And there are some other things I can divulge, but I won't do that because that guy had children. He had a daughter, and I feel like I went too far, but I'm not here to harm anybody. I'm just telling what happened to me. Okay? So he was plant little seeds of doubt and distress, and it was like, you shouldn't say, this entire freaking time. So I went against what his wishes were, and I decided to advocate for myself and finally speak up, whether people liked it or not. And I fully knew that I was going to incur some pushback, because all these people are really well liked and they've been in longer than me. So people felt like, oh, it was just a joke. That wasn't a joke, and it wasn't funny. So and it definitely affected me. The command didn't really do anything to the guy at first. he was able to take every bit of leave that he had on the books while they did an investigation. Let me explain something to you. If somebody sends you something from a .mil account, that can be traced. Anything can be traced, but that forensics can definitely get in there and trace in the origin and check the texture and see who said what. It is absolutely a violation to do what was done to me. Okay, so with that, I was, I still went to work. Did people find out? Yes. Did I tell them? No. The guy himself said stuff, and I'm sure the union rep said things to certain people, certain demographic of people, that it just flooded the fleet, which is part of the reason why I'm here, because I don't want anybody to have to go through what I went through the way I went through it. Fast forward to November, after, it goes through the EEO process, investigations, people call, ask questions, etc., etc. My union rep aided the aggressor, who was clearly wrong. My union rep said so. He was dead wrong. When I retired MSC, I just knew that the women would be safe with him. I felt comfortable leaving, blah, 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 was the whole lie that he, pushed towards me. So in that same year, they give you, after the investigation process ends, they give you all the information that they gathered. They have to, legally, they have to submit that to you. And as I'm reading, just going through everything, I saw where there was a character reference written on behalf of the guy who wronged me. And it wrote the same way my union rep speaks. He writes how he talks, right? So when I read it, I could literally hear I felt like I could hear his voice, reading it for me. And I was crushed, shocked and crushed. And I still wasn't sure. So I text my union rep, because we have each other's phone numbers. That's common, in the outfit. I text them, and I was like, I can't believe I confronted him. And I was just trying to kind of temperature check to see, did you really do this? Because he used to consider me a friend too. He said it plenty of times. And it's like, if you have two friends feuding and one of them is an unprotected black woman, yes, I said it because it's a real thing in every industry, specifically this one, the one that nobody knows about much, okay? They get away with all sorts of stuff out here. And forgive my rants, but I am not here to lie to you. It is what it is. And it's true, and it happens. So that's why if you're going to come out here, I'm not saying don't come, but if you're going to come out here, you need to learn how to protect yourself. And you need to know what's the monster under the bed. And you need to know how to handle that. Because nobody told me. I had to journey through this stuff solo, amongst other women just like me. No, not just black girls, white ones too, Mexicans too, who had to do the same thing. So, because as long as you're ignorant, the bigger conglomerate can control the narrative. And they have all the power, to include EEOC. Okay? So, my point is this. I'm trying not to get too upset about this video. I confronted him about the character reference, because he didn't write one for me. He definitely wrote a detailed one in that other man's character reference and mentioned me, right? But he didn't write one on my behalf, right? That's neutrality, you know what I'm saying? That's friendship. But it was so unprofessional. So then, I told him, I'm glad to know this is how you are. And this is who you really are. This is who you really are. So, thanks for letting me see it. I didn't say anything else to him. That was in November. And December came. Christmas Day. I got a text message from my union rep, again, who happened to be friends with my aggressor, the attacker, the person that did something wrong. And I can't quote it because he mentions the guy's name, and I won't do that. But he said, congratulations, you got what you wanted. They fired over a stupid joke. Merry Christmas. That's what my union rep said to me. I had told him last year, a long time ago, I did not wish to be a part of the union for several reasons. One, a collective bargaining agreement is trash. Okay, if something happens, they always tell you we go to war and advocate for your job. What does that mean exactly? That means if you have a PDA and you have to go before the court, if you will, of MSC, they're gonna talk for you. You can do that for yourself. If you're facing firing, you can contact the Office of Special Counsel, provided you have enough proof to justify whatever actions you took or didn't take. You know what I'm saying? Always keep a log. Is it taxing? Yes, it is. But it's worth it if you want to continue out here. You don't have to be a part of the union, and I'm not going to encourage it. So, I had to go train last week, which means I had to fly from here to Cali, train for a couple days, and fly back, right? While last week, I realized last pay period, that I was being charged union dues. I shouldn't be charged union dues because I explicitly said I no longer want to be a part of the union. Why are you taking money on my account? So I sent my union rep, the only one I know, an email stating to discontinue, and I no longer wish to have a relationship with SIU. Blah blah blah. No response. Okay. I'd already decided Monday that I was going to contact the regional and the higher ups and find out who I need to speak to for SIU Government Service Division, because there's SIU and then there's SIU Government Service Division. Okay, and that's what you'll be under if you're with MSC. So I found out where the head office is. In case you need to know, it's in Oakland, Oakland, California. The VP name is Nick Maroney. The president name is Nick Seralona, I think. Seralona? That's the president. My union rep's boss is Jay Vincino or something like that. Anyway, if you ever want to get out of the union, there is some paperwork that you have to fill out. Go figure. And usually, I'm in my hotel, y'all. Usually, it's like pulling teeth to get the union rep to actually give it to you. Now, to give you to sign on for the union, they're very helpful, absolutely helpful. But to get out that bad boy, he ain't gonna tell you how to do that. So there's paperwork that looks like this, okay, that you need to file, especially if you're in the outfit and you want out and you don't want to be a part of it, which I personally recommend until they refill his billet with someone else or refill his job with someone else, because he's not capable, and he's proven that time and time again. Now, to end this, I contacted the regional office because I don't want to be a part of the union. I have no reason to be a part of the union. And you know what else I learned while having brunch with a friend this over past weekend? Is that my same union rep, while he was in a capacity of something else, he violated her. And in a way that is just, I'll never look at him the same. I don't care if you know who he is. I just care if I say his name. I won't even tell you his initials. But just know, and by what I just said, you'll know who he is, honestly, if you ever join the union. But just know that everything I said is credible. I have every text message that I've ever sent or ever received. And I have to keep an adequate log on it, because if you do not, this is just hearsay and it's slander, and I'm not slandering anybody's name. I'm just telling the truth. So take this information, what you will, do with it what you will. Again, I said this is what happened to me. I'm not saying that this is going to happen to you. I'm saying that if it does happen to you, you know what your options are. For some people, the union probably does work, right? But just like anything else, it's not just what you know, it's who you know and who likes you and who's willing to go to bat for you. And this man that I've known since I started, since soon as I finished and completed, matter of fact, I didn't even complete training when I first met him 10 years ago. I was still in training. And I trusted him because he's older. But please don't think because somebody out here is older that they are a good, genuine, classy person, because that's just not all the way true. Anyway, that was today's video. I'm sorry for the rant. If it offends you, it's not catered to you. It's not geared towards you. I'm not here to hurt nobody. I am seriously just saying my experience and how things happen. And hopefully this is a very teachable moment for some people. And it'll, give some education to those who have absolutely no idea. So I'm going to leave you with that. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night and or day, depending on when you see this. And I will be back with more videos. Bye.